Hi guys, me Misha. Everything I say is not financial advice, my personal opinion. Uh, I'm not looking crypto. I was just checking out the trade. My acting trading coaches was explaining. We share trades in the channel. Yo, yeah, this is flimsy. Almost like freaked me out, and we're looking into the last hour. Yeah. This I have open right now. Technically, it did a spring. You see. However, it's not the biggest approach. And it's like, technically, it's the biggest approach is this tree. So, but that needs a test anyways. So yeah, that would be like good till here. Uh, but that needs a test, to say the very least. And we're closing in correction in 50 minutes. So this entire long, well, it's within the range, so it doesn't affect this charting. It's a strength and weakness, but it's so far from 0.5. Can't do anything about it. It's continuous. Empty continuous is a glorious climb. It's actually too far beyond its range, which affects swing but doesn't affect day trade. Just something to keep in mind. The problem here is that it's a big volume. It's a very strong approach. It's kind of like far above point. It's a 0.8 correction. This is not a correction, actually. Thing to consider. That's also, it's not a short wave. Why do I have it then? It's a good question. This is a better story. It can drop down. It can just drop down. Strengths and weakness, however, you know, that's a different vibe. It's very tempting to take it like this. I don't think it's a problem, the fact that it goes beyond. Snelling test. Counter trend. Correction is 0.5. Volume distribution is not good. It's in reaction bar. So this is like super wide. Look at this volumes. The volume's on. Boom. All this volume. Boom, boom. Yeah. Continuation of the trend. Continuation of the trend. It's a break. It's a break. Weird. Even after, but look at these volumes. Yeah, that's weird. And it's a 1 bar roll, so we don't know where it needs to stop. You better stop before. Those of you who've been with me for enough period of time already know my repertoire. Pretty much. It's 0.5. Those are the levels. Don't be misled. There's like 2 bearish bars, so 2 bar correction. That's enough for us to not apply a 1 bar rule. It's 0.5. We'll deal with that tomorrow. No day trading in the last hour. You know what I mean? Alrosa, the Russian diamond monopolist. Or rather, since it's Russian diamond monopolist. Because we don't have diamonds, we have diamonds. And I told you probably that Ruben Hermoso Chavez confirmed me that the old spread, old white coffee and spread, does not work anymore on the American market because um, the old market rule was before dark pools that arose in like second half of 90s, 1996, 1997, I think, in all the like extended hours and all of that. That's interesting. I see. Reaction bar. It's not critical. It's not like the biggest volume of this entire move. Doesn't look like an exhaustion yet, is all I'm saying. However, once again, look at the regular boom. And volume distribution is good here. Really good. Yeah, this correction is too. That's why we need 0.5 to remind us. Uh-oh. And also, that was a test level. That didn't hold. So volume distribution is not favorable in its after hours on the Russian market. So still significant volume, you know? But yeah, this is not a short wave. We gotta wait for the price to come and hit this level. Transition extreme and see how it will do. How it will deal with. Also, just came to my realization that I'll have to be closing the um, hmm, that's also, it's like what, 60, 70% correction still possible. Oh, and that's a balance actually. That's a good thing. Balance is one of the strategies, one of the models for market to reverse. This volume build up. Nothing critical in months. It's a one bar reversal. Yeah, a little too late to the party. I am. Yeah, that volume pretty much killed this level. I wonder how people who have like misbehaving dogs feel about themselves. It's such a risk, right? You're like taking a pet, and if the cat is a little piece of shit, you can keep it to yourself, and only people who visit your house will know about that. Just like it's on you. It's your like you took the risk and it didn't work out. Let's say so. But if you have a dog and it just turns out to be a piece of shit and you fail to, and I don't know really how much of this like educate, it's like it's animal, so it can have a history, genetics, whatever. So whatever you do, it might be like just a little piece of shit. Uh, and you still have to walk it every day and meet all the neighbors and smile at them and dog goes, "Ugh." These dogs sometimes they're like, "Ugh." I think it's like a child. You had a child, and if it grew up kind of like unpleasant human being, it's I think is similar. But you don't walk with it on the street every day. They just grow up and live their own life and deal with that. But with the pet, you'll be dealing with that for the rest of your life. And I know some good people with pretty shitty dogs. And I don't think there's necessarily anything they did wrong. I don't know how they tried to train them. That's my problem with dogs. Dog you have to train. Cat can just grow up on their own. You can build up a relationship. Dogs, you have to train. And training is like subduing someone to your will, right? Because you think that you know what is better for this creature. And that's where I go, I'm not buying into it. That's why I dropped being equestrian. And as much as I wanted a dog when I was a kid, uh, I don't even think I might have a cat again someday. I'm still in the morning about losing my cat 6 or 7 years ago prematurely. So my heart still belongs to my cat. But one day maybe, and once I'm more settled, maybe too. But dog, and like, just came to my mind recently that I wanted a dog for a functional purpose, really. I wanted, like, no, it was like super cool to have a big dog, and back in the day, like back in the place, German Shepherds or like dogs like that, they're like super cool. They look so cool to me. Um, but I wanted to be a big dog who would be my companion and who would like walk with me everywhere and hang out in the street. But also, I was thinking about this dog would be my protector, my friend, and my protector. So, um, is it fair to the animal um, to assign it a specific purpose and expect it to fulfill your expectation? No, I don't think. I don't think so. So I don't think I was most sincere and mm, pure-hearted in my desire to have this dog. And my parents said like hard no. They're like, no, you're not gonna walk with him when it's like before school, when it's -10 and snow blizzard, which is not uncommon in places where I'm from. they knew that the dog is going to be their responsibility. Um, Instead, a bit later, we got a cat, and we've been having cats ever since. So I'm not gonna trade that counter trend again. Ooh, whoa, whoa. I'm not gonna trade it counter trend. So bye. One bar rule and then correction again. You know, it can continue that forever, right? It can do this little tricks. Go up and then up again and then up again and a little bit more and then like that's how it goes. That's how it goes. I missed my fun on UPS, but it could be not fun. It could go against me easily. So okay, I need to do a decision on AMD because it's about the time, and I'm not going to carry out over this position. I think I need to exit it for better or worse. Because it's about the time. Cancel. Right? I don't want it to get against me overnight. I don't. So the only thing I can do, my entry was 232.32. So I have to exit it now. Okay, I'm out for 232, 232 even, you can say. That's how the story ended. This is how story ends. I had to. It's about to become like super volatile. I don't know where it goes. So let me log it to my logbook and share it with the world. It was an adventure because it almost wigged me out. Set my stop loss a little tighter, I could have been negative. It could have been stopped out. So no, where's my ideas? Update. That with yesterday action in the background and the hour before closing mid-range. With yesterday action in the background and the hour before closing mid-range and increased volume, this is very would take good luck. Closed manually. Closed ahead of the end of the day at thanks. Thanks. Had to close it at the end of the day or crumbles and carry this overnight and gap against me. Yesterday's action. What did they mean? Yesterday action in the background. And by the way, why don't I see people commenting? Yesterday, let's see, yesterday action in the background. Let's try to decipher. That's the yesterday action. Yes. And the hour before closing mid-range on increased volume. And the hour before closing mid-range. Yeah, closing mid-range. And I guess something similar to, and like, how come I don't see that someone commented on my, yeah, I didn't miss much. Okay, but yeah, go for me, will go against me, doesn't matter anymore. It's done deal. But wait, it closes in upthrust on day. Well, once again, uh, counter trend. And one by reversal, something we don't really believe in. That would need a test, especially with the bigger volume. Yeah, that would need a test. I think that's it. You see, this didn't go, broke this level. So that's our next step. That would be sweet if it came here. Wait. I haven't. Ah, that's what happened. It's not critically below the 0.5. By point, yeah, doesn't matter. We broke the level. Nothing really matters to me. Do, 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 do. Mama. It's a correction. Close the gap. That would be the interesting level to look for more. Oh yeah. I didn't make a decision. So what do we do? It's it's not critical yet. That needs a test because of this volume and because it's aggressive. So this is what is it? It's actually all the levels alignment. We have 20 minutes more, but it's kind of mid. point, shall we go through our monthly? I like to be focused on the markets during market hours, you know what I mean? I understand why I was so scared about how high the markets are, removing the logarithmic scale. This is not less scary, not the SPY, but a lot of the stocks, they look way more, way, way more operable with arithmetic 0.5. That's an up thrust with a test. Oh, yeah, yeah, let's use my superpowers. It's a balance. It's like unbelievably huge balance. I don't know what point is it not to put the level here, but um, and it already this test activated the support level. Trade I didn't take. Should have, could have, must have, but didn't. And it's in 0.5 right now. So sweet. But leave it alone. Leave it alone. Tonight. Da-da-da-da. Tonight. Oh, since we have time, shall we better see our gainers losers one more time? One more time. We gonna celebrate. One more time. What a useless industry it is, like the nightlife entertainment. And it was like so full of meaning for me. Not so long ago. I spent like half my life in entertainment. Well, I'm still in the entertainment industry. But I mean the nightclubs. I hang out in nightclubs. I worked as an MC. I worked as the nightclub manager. That made so much sense to me. That's the only thing that made sense to me. Why was I like that? I don't know. And it's so hollow, so empty now, so shallow. And I still meet people sometimes from my past life, and they're still in that trap. They're more or less like all of them. I have younger friends. Most of them agree that it's like hollow, empty, detrimental for your health, mental, physical, and spiritual, if you please. And yet they're so stuck in that shit. And I'm so glad I got out. Because I do know people of very mature age who are still there. And it's not funny at all. Watching them do that. I think it's very like when you're disappointed with life, and that's like what I was, I think, and then you're like, screw that, I'm just gonna party. Yeah, when you can't like realize your goals. or even find them in your life, then you're like, ah, I like to move it. you know. King Julian though is untouchable, and maybe there will be like a next iteration of my matureness to understand that King Julian is also a hollow character. Uh, I'm just afraid to insult too many people out there if I say that he is. Who voiced over? Like I watched all the Madagascar thing in Russian dubbing. I don't think I ever watched it in the original language. I don't even know who dubbed the King Junior. Yeah, it's a good level, but we gotta let it slide. Same here. Counter trend looks sweet, but counter trend. I made my commitment. Once again, it sneaked on, like I made a decision. I'm not gonna be, I'm only be looking at temporality upside down. Yeah, meaning that if year's fine, then I switch over to months and see what's going on there. If months is fine, I switch over to day. If day is fine, and like so and so till 5 minutes. Reason being, my personal statistic is not the best. So this is resistance level. This is resistance, but like too high up there. A lot of people would say, and this whole thing happens, yeah. Like technically, I don't need that. I just self-impose. It's enough that 3 time frames. It's enough that 2 time frames are in alignment. But I self-impose these limitations on my trading strategy because mm, my personal statistics hasn't been that great. Okay, let's go through our monthlies in the mid months overview. I had a better word for not the overview, but what? Report, not report. What's the English word I'm looking for? Uh, I don't know. I mean, I know, but I don't remember now. Review. You see, I guys eat almonds to prevent what they call age-related short-term memory loss. I don't think it's term age-related. I think it's eating meat-related, overeating saturated animal-based fats, to be specific. And I think that eating almonds daily helps to keep the front lobes in a good shape. Maybe some medical workers or professional dietitian just laughed at my statement, but that's my. I never actually fact checked it. I know that from India, from yoga and yogis that do that and keep their clear memory after 100 years old. Uh, However, I never fact checked it on HealthNet, or I trust HealthNet. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how you feel about it's a balance, right? So this whole thing is a balance. Just corrected the level and that's it. It's in 0.5 now. And it's a balance, so we don't need 0.5 really. And not here. And it's in 0.5 of the entire correction. I'll show you. Ta-da! But broke the level, but still in 0.5. But broke the level. You're not below it. Ooh. This list also needs some love. Needs to be taken care of. It has a closed up thrust um, on yearly, so it's not in 0.5 yet. It's a little too far. I'm getting rid of this like 0 levels. I tried, but I didn't like them. And LMK, interesting. We're in 0.5 on test. That's messy. That's messy. Yeah, I think that's all this. That's an interesting question. So if you are in 0.5 correction on higher time frame, can we switch over? No, I know the answer, we can't. I know the answer, we can't. Sorry, Gazprom Neft, the main. Mr. Putin's moneymaker. Supposed to belong to people, to the state. Or to benefit the state, at the very least, but that was cool. Also, I want to kill my trading coach right now. Look at this. It was perfect 0.5, so that was an entry. And anything around here was all right too. So now I know. Now I know. Nothing happened here. Then this, boom. That was like too messy. I'm sure there was something there. It doesn't matter if there were or weren't. It was good anyways. Counter trend balance is nearing. Is it all the same? No, that was lower. The 0.5. Do, 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 do. Dun, 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 dun. That's one you wouldn't know. That's a jingle from super famous Soviet cartoon about a wolf and a rabbit. That were very like humanized. They look like they talk. They look like real people. Guess Russian version of Tom and Jerry. Was there a wolf? There was duck and a rabbit and a hunter. What else did America have? There was a. Now look, boom. It's in 0.5 and it's in 0.5 again. And this is. I mean, it broke it, but did break it. I'll jump out of here, it looks like. And I am not going to be the part of that jam. MasterCard. Dune. Yeah. Don't think it's going to be interesting at this level again. Even when it expands it, it's just like, it doesn't go. Like what I'll say. We'll keep an eye. We'll keep an eye. What can I say? Okay. Rostelecom, one of the biggest Russian telecommunicators. A lot of counter trend. I'm not going to touch. It's just a little touch. Now, the question of the day, would I be happy to see that AMD went my direction or it didn't? So I should be happy to see it went my direction, right? However, I'm not going to be biting my nails because it's it's dangerous to, if I was to close by the end of the day, wait till last like 5-10 minutes, it starts jerking off big time. Um, okay, what happened here? Did it ever change direction? It did never change direction. Did I say something intelligible? It never broke it, so this doesn't have to be recharted, right? So this might be just like one thing. Is there any point though to draw it like this? It's at resistance level on the year. I'm so glad we start charging yearly. It was such a missing part of my puzzle. It's good for day. It came in here quite strongly. It's like, yeah, it's not that biggest. I wouldn't mind delegate charging um, to the AI with me only doing the decision making. And that's, I think, exactly what AI is for. And that's what most people don't understand. And that's why they have like uncontrollable fear of technology. AI is here to make our life easier. And it's like, it's just a rebranding of IT. Which is just the rebranding of math. Really. It's, it just have to be that way for some people, I think. I feel like. Yeah, not bad. Wait. They need like hyped words. So like investors can invest so that people can be excited about technology and all of that. Whereas it's like an old good math. It's nothing new. But the nature of human consciousness is such. On the negative slope of this retention rate phenomenon is how fast people forget about global crises that's going on out there, aka war. Who cares about Ukrainian war anymore? People barely care about Gaza, you know. So it needs to cool down, and if it like persists, then to like Gaza was on and off since like what 70s. So would be Ukraine if they continue the war like 2 3 years from now when Democrats will come into power. If the Ukrainian war is still out there, it can get on the news again, and people again will yell that they stand with Ukraine and all the other things that don't mean anything really, just from the convenience of their couches. uh, that's sad. Uh, and those few who really stay focused on what they do in terms of their support until this very day really earn my respect. And I know some of such people. Um, that's, I think, is meaningful. Okay, it's getting super close to the annual level. Yeah. Once it kisses it, I don't. I will not care its counter trend. It will be good. And this day is coming. Oops. And this day is coming. It's very tempting to set alarms for all of that, but it's just, oh, in my experience, it's the road to nowhere. Oh, and the markets are closed, but let's finish this list. And then I'll be only left with um, the rest of my things. Interesting too, because it's also it's balance, one form or another. But counter trend, that's why I don't touch it. I'm committed to my trend trades. I think American market is super abundant with trading opportunities and instruments you can trade. So there's no point for me to, you know, stress out about counter trend trades. Once my statistic allows, I'll add and onboard all the stocks that are good for counter trend trades if I'll still need it by that time. if I feel that my watch list is not sufficient, you know. I think at this point of my trading career, it's not about having to be right. It's about really focusing not to do silly mistakes. So like human factor at this point, I think my view and understanding of the market is good enough. And I'm constantly like polishing it. I'm working on it. Yeah, we'll see. It can get from here tomorrow. It can do whatever it wants to do. I'm loaded on T-row. I would add more, but I'm loaded. Okay, this guy. Yeah, went nowhere. Absolutely the same price, but there is no freaking way I could have kept this position overnight. And you know why, right? Because tomorrow it can open boom here, anywhere. And then I'm just screwed because my stop, that's also like such a trap for a lot of people who don't really understand the market. They set up stop market and they think that they're protected. It's like wearing a condom that has a hole in it. Really. That's that stop markets are that kind of protection on any market that's not 24/7. And American stock market is not 24/7. Why am I looking for daily for 5 minutes still, right? You know what I mean? Stop market means that the broker will close you at the market price once the price hits the stop price. So if your stop price is $100 and you're short and you keep it overnight, the next morning the price opens with the gap like this, but at the opposite direction. It was 100 here and then it opens up there 120. It means that broker will immediately close your position at 120 instead of 100. And if your risk for 100 was, I don't know, 3% and the risk was $10, you'll lose like 30% of your brokerage account. I hope I explained it like in a comprehensive way. Feel free to shoot me a question if you have, because I think it's very, very important to understand. And people who don't understand that eventually blow their brokerage accounts. Every time I see gap like this, exactly here, it went like my direction. But if I was setting up short here, wait, what? Like at $1,000 short per se, with $1,000 with a stop at 100, 1,010, 1,100. Yeah, and then it gaps against me and opens like here. Well, that's not that critical, but it's a bad example. But you see what I'm saying? The bigger is the gap, the more you can lose. Or if the stop was tight, say I would set up a short position here at one like at 190, and my stop would be like 1,100, so $10, and $10 would be 3% of my deposit. So when it opens here at 130 per se, and I set at 190, it's 13 times by my stop, which is 3%. So it means I blew up my entire account. I blew up 3 by 13. No, 30, 39, 39, 40% of my account. Easy. Like if you don't understand it fully, just look into it. What the heck has just happened here on Walmart? What the heck has just happened? I don't think it's a real 400 million when the regular day is like what, 50? 8 times. I don't think this volume is real. So yeah, guys, if you fully do not understand what I'm explaining right now, just spend some time and learn about it. I think it's technical volume, but very well might be the end of it. No, we're not overextended on monthly, by the way. We're overextended on year. So no Warren Buffett trades in continuation of the trend. That's my uh, word for the trades taken from months, because investment trades, like day trades from 5 minutes, swings from hour, investment trades from day, and Warren Buffett trades from the month chart. We're above that, overextended. Months is not overextended yet. This volume is not the biggest, but it's only half a month, so we can end up with the biggest volume. However, we already know that at least like 350 millions should be subtracted, and 350 millions will make it 350. We'll see. Still, it's going to be significant volume. But for now, what is it for now? What was on my continuation of the trend? For now, it's a daily watch. Okay, okay. You guys take care. Get some rest. I'll see you tomorrow.